Virginia 6, mean absolute deviation, or we call it MAD in Algebra 1. It's a part of our statistics section, so we'll cover this really quick. It's very easy. It's all calculator stuff, so let's get to it. All right, the mean absolute deviation, it shows on average how far data values are from the mean. Mean is less affected by outliers than other measures of dispersion. So the larger the MAD, or the mean absolute deviation, the further the values are from the mean, which means a greater variance or variety in the values. So what you're going to want to do is follow the calculator steps. All of this can be done via the calculator. It's a lot of steps, not really bad. Once you get to doing it a couple times, it'll make sense. So you start with stat, and let's turn this on. So you're going to get your calculator, and you start with stat, because this is all the statistics unit. And you're going to enter your data, edit 1. And you're going to put in L1 your information, and I'm going to use the scores for the example that's on the next page. I'll go ahead and put them in. It's 25, 23, 22, 24, and 26. Once you have them all in there, always double check your work to make sure that they are correct. So I have 25, 23, 22, 24, 26. And we want to find the mean absolute deviation. Now, once we have it all in that line, we hit stat again, and we want to calculate, and we want to find the mean. So we've been doing this in class. You hit 1 bar stat, and hit enter again, and X bar is going to be 24. And you need to write that down somewhere because you're going to have to use it in a minute. So X bar, which is our mean, is 24. So I'm going to write that right here, X bar 24. Somebody's been messing with my marker. All right, now, once you have that, you're going to go back to stat, and you're going to go back to edit. And you want to go over to L2 and highlight this column right here, okay? This column right here, highlight it. Then you're going to hit second and 0, and absolute is which one we're looking for right here, absolute. And what it does is it puts down here in L2 the absolute value. And what we're going to find is the absolute value of the difference of each one of these items in L1 minus the mean we just found. So we can do it all at one time if we use this formula. So we're going to have absolute value. Then I go back to second, and I want to find the absolute value of L1, which is second 1. Subtract. And then you're going to put in that mean that you found, which was 24, and close it off, and hit enter. And it'll put the absolute value of the data value minus the mean in this column. So remember, our mean was 24. So 25 minus 24 is 1. 23 minus 24 is 1. But it's always going to be positive. That's why it's the absolute value. 22 minus 24 is 2, 24 minus 0, 26 minus 2, okay? Excuse me, 26 minus 24. All right, so we're going to be finding these values. Then what we've got to do is go back to calculate the mean of L2. So from here, you're going back to stat. We want to calculate 1 bar stat again. We need to find the mean. But this time when you hit enter, it's giving you the 1 bar stat for the first column, okay? So you want to make sure you go back, calculate 1 bar stat, and where it says that, you have to second L2, which is second L2, and then hit enter. And now it gives me the mean of the L2 column, which is 1.2. That is your mean absolute deviation. So the mean absolute deviation is 1.2 of that information. Okay, so what you have to do is make sure that when you go back, you need to do the 1 bar stat, you have to do with the L2, not L1, or it's going to continue giving the same number that you've already calculated. So let's go. This is what I just finished finding. So again, I'm going to go through the steps with you. I went to stat, and I went to edit. And I'm going to clear out this so we can start all over. All right, so I put in L1 the scores right here. Okay, so you go there, and we want to calculate, stat, calculate the mean for that line. So we're going to do one bar stat, one variable stat, hit enter. All right, so it found the mean of L1, because that's the default. L1 mean is 24. Okay, now we want to go back in to stat, calculate, and this, whoops, stat, I forgot, edit, go up to L2 and highlight it, and hit enter. That puts the cursor down here, so then you do second 0, absolute, and we want to do second 1 for L1, minus, and then you have to type in whatever your mean is and close it off, and hit enter. And it puts it in L2. Now we want to find the mean for L2. So you go back to stat, calculate, you want one bar stat, but before you hit enter, you have to hit second 2 for L2. Otherwise, it'll do L1 again. And hit enter, and there is your mean absolute deviation, which is 1.2. So your mean absolute deviation is 1.2. If you have any questions with this, we're going to practice in class. But this is one of the ways that you can keep information. This particular example was Joan kept a record of the number of points she had scored in 5 randomly selected basketball games. They wanted to know what the mean absolute deviation, how close it was to the standard deviation. Okay? So if you have any questions, see me in class, and we'll see you soon.